Hey, VPs IGT, how are you? I'm sending this video to share a little bit with you guys how has been my last weeks here and the experiences that I've been through also and the outcomes of it as a matter of transparency and also for us to be on board that has network about global direction, national direction. So take this also has a preps for NATCO and that we will explain everything in more details from you guys. So basically for those who are not onboarded, during August, basically half of the month I was in IC, which is International Congress, and it happens like with the global MCPs and MCPs and LCPs also. It happened in Poland during 10 days. So it was almost half of the month out between going and coming back. And then what did we discuss in IC and what was the outcomes for us also has network. Basically, we've talked a lot as Isaac about the concept of working with B2B strategies in order to increase IGT operations. So this it was a global direction that we do not only talk about customer flow and CXP for OGX, but also for ICX. And this was one of the things that we took it forward, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it with you following. And then we also talked about our leadership development model and what is the real concept of the LDM. Not only has qualities, but has a model of leadership development, and that each one of the exchanges that today we deliver, as Isaac in Germany, we should strive to make sure that our trainees, they go through this journey. And this is a big responsibility also from our side to develop this leadership and for qualities in our EPs. This was the second point. Third point was a lot of partnerships. So I had a lot of meetings, basically meetings during lunch, during dinner, after dinner, breakfast, and so on, which gave me a lot of clarity about how our partners are perceiving Isaac in Germany for ICX, what kind of profiles they can provide, and therefore we can sell. And what kind of profiles they said, Lari, I know that you like to sell this, but we cannot recruit this kind of profiles because our market does not offer. So don't expect EPs with this profile from me. And I could map everything in order for us to have better sales and to do not promise for our companies things that eventually most probably we will not get, and then we just reject the end anyways. So I had a lot of partnerships and meetings in this sense. And also it was the launch of Global Entrepreneurs as a product. So that from now on, it should be treated as a different program and not something like a sub-product inside ICX, which will be taken also forward in a different way with different processes. These were the main four things. So B2B, LDM, IR, and Global Entrepreneurs. After IC, I will come back to these points. After IC, I've been to directly B2B NST planning days, where we took forward basically these topics and the three main outcomes that we had. First one, we need a better social media plan for our area. This means that only posting in Medium is not enough. It means that we should invest in increasing our B2B activities during website, including a blog inside the website, using more our LinkedIn and increasing activities in the LinkedIn, engaging the network in order to drive more actions regarding B2B physically, not only virtually. This is one of the things that you can expect from the B2B NST. Second topic was a consideration lead nurturing plan. So for those who could follow, we had Leti, she was our seeder from Brazil here, and she developed a scope of what is the content that companies will receive once they subscribe in our portal, so that they already start receiving content that will present them for Isaac, and they always have the opportunity to press a button and say, get a meeting with Isaac right now. So this is the way that we can give information about the Isaac for companies and keep them engaged in order for them to close contract with us and not only subscribe randomly and then we have a meeting with them. And then the third thing was about how to educate the network and drive strategies with you guys regarding B2B, because it's a very new concept, right? Like I was also a bit lost, like was CXP, IGT, does it change, it doesn't change, so that we can actually have a better action that comes from the network and that you also can drive B2B strategies in your local committee in order to boost actually companies getting in contact with us, and also not only we calling them to get meetings with them. These were the 3 main points after IC in our B2B planning days. And after I left B2B planning days, I went to MC planning days after IC, which were like 4-5 days, where we were able to downscale all main sessions from IC to whole team, so that we were all on the same page. Basically what we did, we delivered the main sessions, and then we went through our projects and rechecked our projects, the 2 main ones that you're also going to hear more about in NATCO, validated this with the global roadmap, with AI projects, we evolved them, reorganized, and make sure they were more tangible and with a better and bigger output for us. And then we went for the global roadmap, which is the global direction that Isaac is going, and then we checked our roadmap as well, in order to make sure that the projects that we are collaborating, they are connected with the global roadmap, and they are contributing for a better Isaac 2020, and not only like the organization that we are ruling here, but we align with the global plenary, which was very important. And then after I left MC planning days, we had in the other week network management planning days, where we also took it forward, the outputs from IC. So we saw that we were selling some things that were not completely matching with what our partners had to offer. So we talked a lot about product strategy, how can we have a better alignment in order to have a better conversion rate. We talked a lot about how can we make sure that our whole process, our citizen satisfaction are happening, and that we are giving value to our experience, right? So that our reception process, matching process, sales process is aligned with the lead process, with the value delivery. And then for this, we also need a very good operational routine, so to have a flow, a structure to run our area and local level in order to deliver this exchange properly. So first we talked about lead and value delivery, then we talked about routine and our operational timeline that you can check in the video that is coming. This was the second point. And then CXP as customer flow. So how can we have our customer flow and work with pull strategy, right, in B2B, but also push strategy. And then we also talked about our minor areas, distributions, and how we are going to support you guys in the best way. Yeah. And then after this, we took the main things and organizing our projects, which are going to be launched, so that you can also have a preview before NATCO about it. And right now, my main focus are, we already started preparations from NATCO. This week, I started to do celebration agenda, and I'm very excited. I think you guys are going to have a very nice conference, and that's why it's very important to engage all your area sellers to be there. We also got selected as AI Leads Pilot. This means that we are going to be piloting the concept of developing leadership in our trainees. This is something that can change totally the way that we run operations for the best. So keep tuned for that. Talking about our national projects also, right now we are driving strategies for both of our national projects, working a lot for HubSpot to make sure that we all have a very good system and that's actually running, but I cannot do this without you guys, and also doing the consultancies and NSTs supporting in general. These are also the main actions that I'm driving. And then if you might be wondering also, okay, but what does this mean for me? What are the actions that I should drive and so on? Because I know that I also gave you a lot of information so far. That's very bad. But I'm not going to cancel this video because it's very big. What are the actions then that we can drive? First, push recruitment with your VPTM. I've talked with a lot of you guys, and most of you say that like, I'm not in the country, I don't have an area or anything. It's very important that even though university is not on, we should start to push recruitment and start to push activity inside the area. Because this is the best way that whenever we get to October, we don't need to start the area from zero, right? Like your term does not start in October. That's why you are VP already. So we should push activity for your area since now, since yesterday, to make sure that when it gets to October, we have a running area and not an area that's starting. Have interface meeting with your VPTM, talk with your LCP, think about things to at least put people in sales, yeah. And then organize your sales team. because this is going to be very essential for October in general. Right now, it's very important that we push sales in order to have a good number of opportunities and use the global peak. October and November are globally the months with the biggest number of people in the system. That's when EPs they want to be matched. And if we are able to have opportunities in this moment, this means that we can match our opportunities with better EPs instead of waiting to January and February when we usually match opportunities. Very important thing, guys, we are now only auditing the TNs and tracking everything by HubSpot. So it's a very simple system. You can talk also with a lot of VPs that are using Kevin from Muni, Philippe from Bowen. They're just like two top examples that come to my mind. Also, Mele is doing a very nice education about it. So just let's make sure that we all have our HubSpot very clear, organized, and implemented, because from now on, that's how we're going to support you, right? So based on the system mainly. And for this, you can also check the NST videos. There are videos already for matching, for HubSpot, global timeline. We are doing this in order to be more accessible for your information so that you can also have more dynamic interaction and not only reading things in the knowledge base. Please give us feedbacks about if this is working for you, if it's something that makes sense, and if it's something that is helping you. Second, other point is about building your routine. So already organize how you are going to run your operations for each process, and how do you want your team to work once you have them, and make sure that all the TNs that you have now, either they have very clear next steps regarding matching, or if they are very old, just reject them and start selling again. These are very important things, basically because October is our month to sell. So everything that we can do in order to perform the best at October, this means HubSpot preparation, team members education, aligning with TM. It should be done from now on in order for us to have better performance for the next months. In overall, I'm just sharing this video also so that you know a little bit of what has been going on here in MC office, and I'm really looking forward to hear what has been going on with your LCs as well. Please give some feedback for us. Like, we are not here to provide information randomly. It's supposed to be useful for you, and also that we can work together as a network in order to achieve the thing that we strive for as an organization, which is leadership development. And we do this, bring people to Germany, and I'm very, very privileged to share this network with you, and very much looking forward to see you all in NATCO and Celebration as well. Right now, my call to action is, how are you doing and what are you going to do in order to make the best out of September? Bye!